Good morning, Southeast Asia, and good afternoon here at Wilson's Promontory. It's the southernmost point of mainland Australia. I'm George, I'm going to be your host. This is live streaming for Sydney Melbourne Touring. So thank you for joining us, everybody. And today, as we're live streaming, you will also have opportunity to, on your screen, there is a chat button. So please feel free to ask us any questions. So to all my tourism friends here in Southeast, or there in Southeast Asia, welcome to Wilson's Promontory. And first of all, let's introduce our first guest from Sydney Melbourne Touring. It's Anthony John.
Hello, George.
G'day, Anthony. How are we?
Great. I'm glad to be back.
You're glad to be back, and it's good to
Yep.
have you here. This is the most amazing place,
Absolutely.
Wilson's Promontory National Park.
Absolutely.
One of my favourite places in Australia, and I can guarantee you guys, if you ever put an itinerary in, you must put this in because it's a wildlife nature sanctuary. So tell us about Sydney Melbourne Touring and your road trips.
Yes, so Sydney Melbourne Touring, we here promote self-drive road trips between Sydney and Melbourne, and then there are many different ways you can do it. But as you can see on the map here, there are two lines, which are the two major touring routes we promote. So we have the inland drive going through Canberra, Yarrawonga, along the Murray, through Bendigo, and then into Melbourne. And we also have the coastal line, which is the blue line along the drive, which is absolutely spectacular. But if you look at the bottom of the map, there's a place called Wilson's Promontory there, and that's where we are right now. And this is our last string location, which I think is absolutely beautiful. I actually call it the Jurassic Park of Australia. It's just so beautiful and so natural here.
Absolutely. And so today we're going to focus on this small patch of the Sydney Melbourne Touring, the small patch of this awesome destination. So tell us about it.
Yeah, so as I said, Wilson's Promontory, it's absolutely beautiful, as you can see on the screen now.
Wow.
You look at those beach and the lighthouse. It's so pristine, and then and look at that Scout Rock. It's so pristine and clean, and then especially for our Southeast Asian friends, this is where you can come and feel the nature, which is something you don't get to do a lot back home in Singapore, Malaysia, or other parts of Asia. As I grew up in Asia as well, and there's always like pollution in the big cities, whereas here you can, in the evening, it's pitch dark, and where you can see the southern lights. And it's just absolutely beautiful, and you just feel like you're in another world.
Okay, well that's great. We'll catch up with you with at the rest of the show, Ant. So
Yes.
thanks a lot.
And then during the show, I actually have my colleague Paul Cooper. Some of you may know
yes.
that I actually sent him out, and then I did a few trips, and then I think he's got a few reports back to us. Some of the hotspots around the prom.
That's right, yes, and he'll be doing a bit about the Wilderness Retreat and the wildlife here at the prom.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Anthony. All right, okay, it is live TV, and we're going to introduce you to the main man. He's been instrumental of making this park so accessible to so many people around the world. His name is Brent Moran. Hey, Brent, how are we?
How are you?
Good, mate. Now, tell me, what's the best time to visit the Wilson's Promontory?
Well, George, as you probably know, there's something to do all throughout the year, but the most popular time is definitely in summer. So the nice, long, warm days and the school holidays bring thousands of people to the prom to enjoy the beaches, drive down that road, which is my commute to work there. Drive down that road and head to beaches similar to what's on the screen there.
That's amazing.
Of course, that's a very busy time of the year.
Mhm.
So if you wanted to escape the crowds and be like these two people and feel like you have the whole place to yourself, if you come around this time of year, so the Southern Hemisphere autumn, you can escape the crowds midweek and you can enjoy this place all to yourself.
And our friends from Malaysia and Singapore, they're craving for something nature and wilderness, and I think they've died and went to heaven here.
No better place to come.
So tell us about the accommodation range here at the Wilson's Promontory.
So Wilson's Promontory is famous for its camping.
Look at
so
that.
that's an example of the campsite there. It's one of Victoria's favourite camping destinations, but there's also a wide range of accommodation on offer. So most popular are two-bedroom self-contained cabins, which are
Perfect.
great for
Great for this
families.
market, great Great for this.
However, we also have the smaller units, like you can see there. They're perfect for 1 or 2 people. We also have group lodges, which are great for groups of even up to 30.
Wow.
But our most unique and luxurious accommodation
This is
are the
my
wilderness
favourite.
retreats,
Yes.
which you can see there. And I believe you enjoyed last night.
I enjoyed last night. It's one of the best
I think
experiences.
we'll talk with Paul very soon.
Yes.
He's going to go into a lot more detail about those.
Absolutely, Brent. Well, thank you for your time, and I know you're a busy man, but I think he has the best job in the world. I can guarantee you that. So thank you very much, Brent.
No worries,
Our
George. Good to
ranger
chat
from
to you.
Wilson's Prom. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Now, so we've heard a little bit about the wilderness retreats. So, Paul, can you tell us more about it?
Thanks, George. Now, Australian animals normally like to find a nice, quiet, secluded spot where they can feel protected and be able to graze around and be at one with nature. Well, here at Wilson's Promontory National Park, that's exactly what they've done for us humans, with the accommodation known as the wilderness retreats. Where the wilderness retreats are located, you can't drive a car through, but there's 2 car parks on either end. One at the top side for Oberon and Verica, and one down this end for Latrobe and Bishop. Now, these wilderness retreats are right next to me, but they're so private you wouldn't even know they were there. There are 4 retreats, and they're located adjacent to the tidal river campground. They're also not too far from the beach, where you can hear the waves crashing. What a great way to go to sleep. Now, the wilderness retreats are actually luxury safari tents, and over the tent they have another protective cover as well. Let's pop inside and have a look. Now, the first thing I notice when I come in is the space. There's so much room in here. You've got a lounge for 3, a table over here, then you've got the mini bar and tea and coffee making facilities, and you can separate these rooms by closing the zips down here. So you've got one room here and another room in here, which becomes the bedroom. Now, in here we've got the queen size bed, and we've also got the little chest over here with a couple of bathrobes on the top. Inside is a bathrobe for a 3rd person, plus there's some blankets and towels in there as well, and there's a heater in the corner in case you get a little bit cold. Now, I did mention a 3rd person for a reason, because underneath here is a 3rd bed. So if you've got a 3rd person or you're travelling with a child, they're welcome at the wilderness retreats. What about the bathroom facilities? Well, I'm glad you asked. So just on the other side of the queen size bed is your own private ensuite with a beautiful shower, wonderful amenities, and of course the convenience station. Oh, and don't worry about the bloke in the mirror. He doesn't come as part of the package. Now, when you're staying at Wilson's Promontory National Park, it's self-catering. You won't find a 5-star restaurant here, but you can do your own 5-star cooking. And if you're staying in one of the wilderness retreats, your key will also access the community kitchen. And here it is right behind me. Just come in and have a look. Everything you could imagine in a kitchen is, well, pretty well here. You've got 2 toasters, 2 microwave ovens, 2 gas cookers, and there's 4 hot plates on each one. Then you've got a large sink, all the, well, that's the garbage bin, that's exciting. Then you've got all of the, wine glasses and colanders and plates and all sorts of things like that. And you've also got a full-size refrigerator over here with a decent-sized freezer in there as well. And of course the big fridge. So if you really want to cook up a storm, you can certainly do that here at the Wilderness Retreats.
This is where I stayed last night, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you it's a wonderful experience. And for all my friends in Southeast Asia, this is certainly a must-do, and you must book early because it always gets pretty much sold out very, very quickly. But if you are going to book it, it's definitely commissionable, so definitely include it into your program. It's called Wilderness Retreat in Wilson's Promontory National Park. Well, speaking of Wilson's Promontory, speaking of the region of Gippsland, because this is where it is, we're going to introduce our next guest from Destination Gippsland. It's Kelly McCarthy. How are we, Kelly?
Very well,
Good to
George.
see you again.
Good to see you too.
Absolutely. So, Kelly, tell me more about the accommodation outside the prom.
Well, just outside of the prom, we have probably the closest option for accommodation would be Lamosa Rise. These beautiful self-contained cottages have beautiful views across the inlet to Wilson's Prom. Inside the cottages, you've got your bed and a kitchenette. There's free Wi-Fi and fantastic cooking facilities in there. Beautiful wood heating, so they're nice and comfortable. You can enjoy the view. Yeah, they're fantastic.
Wow. Yeah.
We also have, Bear Gully cottages. So there's just 4 self-contained cottages at Bear Gully. They've got their own private beach. This accommodation does have a 2-night minimum stay, but that's something that we rarely recommend because the cottages are quite close to Waratah Bay, where you can explore the beautiful beach of Walkerville, which is quite a underexplored beach of the region, and also Cape Liptrout Lighthouse, which is fantastic to check out. So, and then also obviously get into the prom. It's 35 minutes to the gate from there, which is not far.
Looks beautiful. And with definitely our friends of Singapore, if they're not doing self-drive, because it is Wilson's Promontory and this region is about 2.5 hours drive from Melbourne. How else can they get here other than driving?
Yeah, they can take a day tour down with Great Southern Escapes.
Okay,
so they're a very knowledgeable tour operator run by a Gippsland family, sixth generation of Gippsland families. They run a small group tour up to 11 people, and they'll take you down to the prom, guide you through the walks. And
looks really nice. Oh, look at that. That's so cute.
That's a wombat. So they know where to find all the best wildlife. They depart from Melbourne Monday, Thursday and Saturday, and the tour includes a morning tea and also a delicious lunch with lots of Gippsland local produce as well.
Well, the good news is we're going to be interviewing from Great Southern Adventures, so absolutely. And, Great Southern Escapes, I should say. Sorry about that. What else does Gippsland offer?
Well, Gippsland is about 2.5. Wilson's Prom, where we are right now, is about 2.5 hours drive out from Melbourne. We really recommend putting together a journey that takes in a lot of Gippsland's beautiful little villages. So this, you can see on the screen, this is the village of Lock. They have some fantastic antique shops, beautiful pantry, cafes, and also the Lock Distillery. So you can have a sneaky little gin on the way down. And from there we can head down a little bit further down the highway. You've got Moose at Meenian. This is a cafe at Meenian. Meenian itself is a foodie mecca. There's a local pantry, imported food.
Yummy. Look
fantastic.
At that.
Yeah, really good food there. And then further down the highway where we'd recommend...
Oh, my God, that looks better than the Great Ocean Road. That's amazing. It's like a hidden gem, this place.
It's a little secret, isn't it? Yeah, this is the Bunurong Coastal Drive, just near Inverloch. So we'd recommend you stay at the RACV resort at Inverloch. Yeah.
That looks spectacular.
So you've got all little rock pools. This is Eagle's Nest, a rock formation just off the shore. Some fantastic surfing in this area. Beautiful. And also one of Australia's best dinosaur fossil sites as well. So this is the RACV resort that we mentioned. They have a beautiful restaurant. In Inverloch. Yeah. Beautiful restaurant on site there as well. So I'd really recommend building that into your itinerary. And if you're into it, you can take a surfing lesson as well. And this is Shack Bay, just near Inverloch. Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you very much, Kelly.
No
That's
problem.
very insightful. It's a warm, northerly, windy day today, but it's still so beautiful. But thank you. Anything else you want to say?
I think we're also going to have a look at Tarrabolga National Park.
Oh, absolutely.
So this is some aerial footage that we've got of Gippsland. This is the suspension bridge down at Tarrabolga. These tree ferns. Tarrabolga.
Okay,
yeah. These spectacular tree ferns down in that area. So it's a cool temperate rainforest. This is the 90-mile beach. Actually 94 miles long. We don't like to speed things up too much. And that takes you all the way up to the Gippsland Lakes, which is actually 7 times the size of the Sydney Harbour.
All over the place.
This is on Raymond Island. So it actually has a huge koala colony on the island where you can see them in the trees and on the roads and all through the place. Gippsland Lakes, as I mentioned, Australia's largest inland lake system. So you can learn to paddleboard, you can take a kayak, and there's also some really good boat tours and yachting companies up around there as well. So plenty to do.
And it's all available for our wonderful Singapore. I bet you they're jotting all this down.
Absolutely.
You make sure you write this down. Destination Gippsland, Google it. Get some more questions and ask for Kelly. So thanks a lot, Kelly. And I believe next year we're going to do another live stream at the Gippsland Lakes. So
excellent. Look forward to it.
Thank you very much.
Great.
And we're back to Paul.
Thank you.
Wilson's Promontory National Park is a wildlife haven. Birds, emus, kangaroos, echidnas, and of course the wombats. The park also has some awesome walking tracks and trails. So when it comes to wildlife at Wilson's Promontory National Park, it's one of the best places where you can actually see them, especially the wombats. And where else in Australia can you get this close to an Australian native wombat? They are wild animals, however, so you should never feed them. Human diets are not good for the health of any of our native birds and animals. Always respect that you are in their place, so let them have the right of way. Wombats are nocturnal, so it's not often you see them during the day, except here at Wilson's Promontory National Park, where they are often seen grazing as people just walk on by. One of the reasons that people like to stay at Wilson's Promontory National Park for more than a day is the walks. There's so many of them, and they're very clearly signposted, like this one. You can see the Lily Pilly Link Track, Pillow Point, Squeaky Beach, or the tidal overlook circuit. Now the beauty of these signs is they all tell you the distance of the walk and an approximate time you should allow to get to the other end. There's also maps that you can pick up from the park office which give you much more detail. It's a great way to discover this piece of paradise, the southernmost tip of mainland Australia. Do it on foot. You'll see so much more. This is a boardwalk which goes alongside Tidal River, and along the way there are plenty of fishing stations. That's right, you're allowed to fish here. George, I'll be back later to check out one of these great walks in more detail. So for now, it's back to you.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're back. Thanks, Paul. That was very insightful. And coming up next, and if you're going to be experiencing a lot of stuff on land, but there's also a lot of experience on water. And we welcome back from Phillip Island and Wilson's Promontory from Wildlife Cruises is Brianna Dickey. How are we, Brianna? Good, good. What boat tours Port Welshpool do Wildlife Cruises take into the Wilson's Prom Park?
Well, George, we've got a beautiful 9-hour Wilson's Prom cruise that departs from Port Welshpool. Absolutely spectacular. So you'll board our 20-metre catamaran. It will take you into Refuge Cove where you can go for a swim, go for a bushwalk, go for a snorkel, have some lovely lunch. All catering is included for that. Past some beautiful rock formations and have
lovely.
Look
at that.
My favourite cruise, definitely. There's John driving the boat. He's the owner of the company. We have wonderful staff on board. You'll view the amazing Skull Rock there.
This is here at the prom.
You can see it. Look at that. Oh, sometimes we do get to touch it. It's absolutely magnificent. Kanowna Island, where the seal colony is, you'll see thousands of seals there, and you'll watch the seals slide down the slopes there, and sometimes they knock each other out. You'll have the chance to see dolphins and whales and birds, amazing wildlife.
So you get to see whales here at the prom?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. All year round? Or?
No, you will see them from the months of September through to November.
Yep.
They are a 6-hour cruise that will include your lunch and morning tea and coffee all day. You'll see them travelling down.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. How close they are to the boat. They are very playful this time of year as they are migrating with their calves from the north.
So this tour leaves from Phillip Island, yes?
No, this one leaves from Port Welshpool.
Port Welshpool, sorry about this.
That's
So
right.
it's Port Welshpool, yes, which is down the road.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
So as soon as we leave Port Welshpool, the prom is right there. You'll get to see some spectacular behaviour from these mammals. They're amazing. Definitely one of my favourite animals in the world.
So my question kept on, I was asking what other boat tours can we do wildlife cruises? Is there any more than this?
Oh, definitely.
I did mention Phillip Island,
you did,
of course.
Yes. We do a lot of Phillip Island cruises. Phillip Island daily Cape Woolamai cruises, Wednesday and Sunday. Have complimentary tea, coffee, cake on board on all our cruises, actually, George. Absolutely beautiful rock formations there, the beautiful pristine clear waters. It's absolutely a stunning area.
Fantastic. And with these boat cruises, if anyone's going to Phillip Island to see the penguins, you also have a pre-boat cruise to see the seals and the penguins?
We do. Yep. We do have a seal watching cruise that runs daily. You're guaranteed to see thousands of Australian fur seals. They are so playful. They're really cute. definitely amazing. They are all year round.
It's almost like you want to jump out and
Yeah.
swim with them.
Oh yeah, definitely, but we can't, unfortunately.
No, of course not.
No, we got this Twilight Bay cruise. It is a stunning cruise. Watch the sunset, see the HMS Otama submarine, winter whale cruise during the winter, regular dolphin sightings.
And whales again.
And whales again, yeah,
Wow.
definitely. They
Dolphins. Wow.
are incredible.
That is huge whale. I've never seen anything that big.
They do
Look at
come
it.
very close to the boat, and you'll see
So-
how big they are.
So really, for all our friends back in Singapore and Malaysia, Wildlife Coast Cruises, okay? Make sure it's all commissionable. You can book it through all your ITOs or your wholesalers. Definitely use them. So thank you very, very much.
Thanks,
Brianna.
George.
That was very insightful. And we look forward to seeing you back here again.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, George.
Back on land, Paul is about to go for a walk.
Thanks, George. Mount Oberon is probably the most popular walk here at Wilson's Promontory National Park. As you can see in this shot, once you get to the top of Mount Oberon, you're looking right down on the Tidal River campgrounds. But it's not the only walk you can do at the prom, and so many people miss out on some other great walks. There's tracks and trails all over the place. This one is one of my favourites, Tongue Point. It's before you get to Tidal River. So pull up the car, grab a bottle of water, your camera, maybe a snack, and take a walk out to Tongue Point. Some walks can be more challenging than others, as in hills to climb and so forth. And other walks are like this one, nice and flat and easy to do. Although there's a little bit of a hill at the start, but it's not too challenging. And you're walking along amongst all of this Australian native bush, and all of a sudden there's an opening and you're looking out over Bass Strait. It's a wonderful way to discover Australia. Been walking now for about 45 minutes from Derby Saddle to this point, one of the lookouts as you're on the Tongue Point walk. The last 250 metres was pretty challenging though, so I would recommend you have at least a moderate level of fitness if you want to do this walk. But what the reward is the views. From this point we can look straight down on the Tongue Point. We've got the beautiful islands of the Prom over here. As we walked up we had glimpses of Whiskey Bay and also Squeaky Beach, and heading up that way is Phillip Island. So the views are spectacular. You can see forever.
Welcome back here at the Wilderness Retreats here at Wilson's Prom. Thank you very much, Paul. You know, I'm just sitting here having an absolutely lovely time, and looking back, as you can see, this is the view I've got from my Wilderness Retreat. Can't get better than that. Thank you very much, Paul. We spoke before about how to get here if you're not self-driving, and think of this name. It's Great Southern Escapes, and the owner here is Andrew. Hello, Andrew.
G'day, George.
Good to see you
again.
Tell me about Great Southern Escapes.
Well, George, we're a small family-owned company, and we started our business with a clear mission in mind to give people a local and authentic experience down here at Wilson's Prom, but not only the Prom, but Gippsland as well.
Looks beautiful.
And the journey, and there's some of our hikers. We do a range of bushwalks, some of them short, some of them long, depending on the groups. We're able to tailor-make the itineraries to the groups, on the day, so we can mix it about and change it up a bit.
And your vehicles, what's the maximum you can take?
Well, we take a maximum of 11 people.
11 people, good.
Small, quite premium experience in a Mercedes-Benz.
So
small
basically, you do FIT sales, and you also do private group sales. So
bus.
up to 11
we have
people.
we have a scheduled tour that departs 3 days a week currently.
Yep.
We'll go
And
to
on
7
what
days.
days again? What
Well,
days?
Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays currently.
Perfect.
And then coming in spring, we're going to be operating 7 days a week.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We also are open and available for private touring as well,
Awesome.
and that's anywhere in Gippsland.
So tell us about your Wilson's Promontory tour, the main one.
Well, our core product in Wilson's
at
Promontory
this.
is look at that, it's stunning,
That's
isn't it?
just-
And that's really what we come down and see every day. And people get the opportunity to not only immerse themselves in nature, they get lots of wildlife encounters. We have the full range of wildlife here in Wilson's Promontory.
It is.
By far and away the most popular probably is the wombat. We get lots of kangaroos and emus,
Lots of kangaroo,
echidnas,
emus.
even koalas too at times. And look at that wombat shot there. That's a very, very common experience.
So this is not a zoo, guys. This is not a
Absolutely
wildlife
wild.
park. It is in the open.
Exactly, yeah. And it's
You're
very,
in
very
their
common.
world. You're in their world.
You absolutely are. And, you know, we, like I say, we commonly see wombats. They're particularly at this time of the year when it's not so hot. So when you're looking to, you know, book a trip to Wilson's Promontory, if wildlife's what you're after, then probably going off season is a good idea.
And I understand you have have more tours, like overnight tours?
Yeah, coming up in the spring, we're introducing multi-day tours for private touring.
Perfect.
And you'll have an opportunity to stay in any one of a range of accommodations available in the prom. I think you looked at those with Kelly earlier on.
So what they saw before, like here, the wilderness retreats, or the camping, or the cabins, that's all included in your tours. Yep.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can either book the wilderness retreats, Lamosa Rise, Bear Gully, those sort of places there. Wherever we look to accommodate people, we look to be accommodating them in a really special place. Yeah.
And they'll be, doesn't matter if it's rain, hail or shine.
Rain, hail or
windy,
shine.
It's always beautiful.
Well,
here.
I've never seen the prom look anything but beautiful, to be perfectly honest, and it's very few places I've ever been to that trigger such an emotional response in people.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andrew. And
Thanks, George.
so remember, Great Southern Escapes, that's your tour company here at Wilson's Promontory. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thanks, George.
All right, well, it's live TV. Let's bring Anthony back. Anthony, where are we? Here we go. It's just amazing here, guys. I'm really, really loving it, and especially the time I stayed here last night. Anthony, come back here.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
So that's great, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. Thank you for inviting me to host this and just experience this.
Well,
wonderful place.
we're very glad to have you here, George. You're the host with the most,
Thank you very much.
He's very popular. Actually, you need to book him earlier than the wilderness retreat. Actually, but he's very great, as you just saw. So.
And Anthony, obviously, he represents Sydney Melbourne Touring, and you have some really, really good partnerships, and I really want to know about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We cannot do this without our strong partnership with some of our greatest partners. So Big Four Holiday Parks, as well as Caravan Camping Industry Association in New South Wales, and these are some of the great camping and RV site options around Australia, actually, but particularly within the Sydney to Melbourne region. I know RV and camper vans getting more and more popular in Southeast Asia as well. It's they have some of the greatest sites where you can stay and get the absolute waterfront scenic views. So and also Murray River Regional Tourism. So hopefully we will be doing more live stream from the Murray River through the Inland Heritage Drive. Particularly between Echuca and Albury along that stretch of the river. It's absolutely beautiful. Through Bendigo as well. And we will be looking at doing more live stream sessions from there, as well as THL, which is our Brit and Maui camper vans, and they are some of the most popular ones our international visitors use, and they have great facilities on the van. I think you've been to one of those before,
I
and
certainly have.
as you could see,
and it's easy to drive. The roads are nice and open. It's not as busy as it is in major cities like
once you're outside the major cities, there's no traffic. Especially it's not like exactly. It's not like your drive from Singapore to KL. There's no traffic, not that, and it's really easy to drive. And we all drive on the same side of the road as you guys as well, which is makes it really easy.
And also and another big thank you is our little production, because this is live streaming, and this is one of our first ones, and we have a lot of people behind the scenes in this live stream.
Yeah, absolutely, and we cannot thank firstly enough to Paul Cooper. He's the mastermind behind all of this project, actually, and he came up with the idea and the concept, and we managed to do it. So big thank you to Paul, who put a lot of effort behind this project, and also our friend Indy. He's actually a Pom. He's from the UK here on working holiday, and we decided that he's more useful than just having a holiday here, and then we're actually employing him to do help us with these live sessions as well. And just before we leave, I just want to show you one photo I actually took on my phone of my colleague Paul. As you can see, you can see how close he can get to some of the wildlife animals. Yes. I'm actually sure. I'm not too sure which one's the wombat. What do you think, George?
But look at that. That's a selfie of the century. I
Oh,
reckon.
absolutely. I reckon that, if all of you guys can come down and start hashtagging Wombat at the prom, maybe we can start something new and sensational.
Okay, so to wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen, everybody from Southeast Asia, when you think of Victoria, when you think of Melbourne, think of Gippsland, think of Wilson's Promontory National Park, the lakes. This is the place to be, because I know your market. You just want nature, you want wildlife, and you also want where there's not many tourists around. Shh, it's our little secret, guys. This is the place to come. So thank you for joining us, and I hope you sell a lot of Gippsland. Thank you.
Thanks very much, guys. We'll see you here at the prom soon.
Bye.
Bye.